What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod and I'm coming at you today with a video to answer another question from one of my subscribers. And today's question comes from the Pocket Monster, who asks, do you think Yu-Gi-Oh has gotten better or worse in the last 10 years? Now this of course is a question that many duelists find themselves asking, especially if they've been playing the game as long as I have. I've seen many different kinds of formats come and go. I've seen cards that players say would break the game, it would make them leave. I've seen certain players return once the meta has changed, when cards get on the ban list, when cards come off the ban list. Yu-Gi-Oh is ever evolving. So within the last 10 years, about 8 years ago or so, was the start of the 5Ds era. The Synchro format. Now, as many of you guys know, I am a huge fan of the Synchron archetype, and the 5Ds is probably my favorite out of any of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime series. It was just something about it that I found very appealing. The story was more engaging, more elaborate, more complex, and the character development was much better, at least in my opinion. Also within the last 10 years was one of my favorite formats, that being Synchro Plant. And then almost immediately after, it was one of my other favorites, that of wind-ups, Insectors, Dino Rabbit, and even decks like E-Hero were able to flourish. It was a very diverse format. I think during that 6-month span, a different archetype won the YCS each and every time. It almost seemed like any deck was playable, that any deck had a chance at winning a YCS. And that diversity is something that I think many players really long for. An era when you could take just about any kind of deck that you wanted to, that you didn't have to spend a lot of money, that if you were a budget player, you could take a budget deck and do really well, if not win with it. Now, I'm not one of these players who hate change in the game. I've learned to adapt with it. I see it as a good thing for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Being able to ever evolve, to form new archetypes and play mechanics, and in my opinion is just overall good for the game. So to answer your question, is the game better now than it was 10 years ago? Well, for me personally, I would say that I had a lot more fun playing the game 10 years ago. I was definitely a lot more involved with it too. But, you know, I had a lot of external factors that kind of forced me not to be as involved with the game as I was during that time. I was much younger, obviously, and I think that those also play, you know, aspects into my opinion. So, if I had to be honest, I would say, personally, I thought the game was better 10 years ago, or roughly around that time. But, those are just my thoughts on it. Anyhow, remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Has Yu-Gi-Oh gotten better or worse in the last 10 years? And also, if you have a question that you would like me to answer in an upcoming video, remember to leave it down below as well, and I may be able to do so. And I guess that's it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.